She's sugary, she's spice. She is everything plus nice. Take her one-on-one class and she provides the best advice. She'll take you down to the trenches, but only to lead a new way. Only for the sake of you and your legacy to establish a new day. Let's give a warm welcome to the Chief Reprimander and the Supreme Hugger, G. Smith.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite host, Chi Smith, with another episode of InEarthgie Therapy. Yes, InEarthgie Therapy, where we learn to love ourselves, love people, and even help people love themselves. Brought to you by our forever faithful and loyal sponsor, InEarthgie, where there are products and services provided to everybody in the entire world for your everyday, every week, every month, every year lifestyle. InEarthgie. Today's topic is it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. So as I was preparing for today's episode, I have what we call a unicorn in between my eyes and my forehead. And like many of you out there, you may or may not, but I have a thing where I pick. And a lot of people do that. Sometimes it's a nervousness. Sometimes it's, some type of anxiousness as it relates to something happening, something being available, and you want to get rid of it. It's irritating. You don't like to see it. You don't like the feel of it. Maybe sometimes it's like that little hangnail, that little snag, and you will pick and pull at that skin and pull. Now, the result may be, a bloody finger, but you can't stand to have just a little bit of skin hanging around a nail bed, and you can't get it off, right? Because it snags or it just feels really weird. So as I continue to think about this, I also think about, cooking. Those of you who love to cook, those of you who are chefs, and those of us who love to eat, right? So, oftentimes as you were growing up, those who were in the kitchen would say, move around that pot. It's not ready yet. Or get out my kitchen. Then it's not ready yet. But you were just eager. You had to, it was smelling so good. You just had to see what was in that pot. You lifting up tops. You're sliding by on the slide, looking over into the pots. You're looking down into the oven, in the oven window, if the light is on, trying to see what is that good smelling thing in their bacon. And you were always told, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. Or just give it a little bit more time. It's not ready yet. And I so associate this with life. And as I go through this, I want you guys to consider yourselves and consider others around you, because sometimes we can put so much pressure on getting things done, making things happen, making it appear, disappear, before it's time. Sometimes things are just not ready, just like food, just like that pimple that you're ready to pop, maybe that pregnancy, you're ready to drop that baby. Maybe that wonderful relationship is going so well, you're just waiting for somebody to ask you to marry you, to propose to you. And sometimes things are just not ready. It just isn't ready. And you have to give things its appropriate time. I am reminded with seed time and harvest. Everything has its appointed time. And when we find ourselves in situations where we are looking for results, or we make the results happen before it's time, sometimes it comes out dysfunctional, sometimes it comes out warped, sometimes it doesn't come out to the best flavoring. Sometimes, it ends in an argument. Because think about this: when two people are having a discussion, and depending on the intensity of the conversation, it may have escalated into an argument. Voices were raised, and then of course, you went your two separate ways. But then you may have one person that comes back and says, "No, we're going to talk about this right now. We're going to talk about it right now. We're going to find a resolution." Well, the other opposing person may just not be ready to communicate at that moment. Maybe it takes that person just a little bit more time to meditate on their thoughts, to gather their thoughts, to get their temperature together, to get their emotions together, so that they can come back and have a calm and peaceful and intellectual conversation to find the resolve. Again, going back to that pimple on your face or the pimple that's on my face right now, um, I'm pushing on it daily. I'm mashing on it. I'm squeezing it. I'm looking at it in the mirror. I'm using my products to say, okay, hurry up and leave, go away. Um, for one, it's probably a reason why it's there. But then for two, if I press and squeeze on it too much, too hard, there's a great chance that I'm going to leave a mark on my face that I may not want to be forever or even for a certain point in time, right? So that's another aspect of giving things time, knowing that it's not ready yet, because you can press and you can squeeze and you can be so aggressive in your approach, so assertive, such in a hurry, just being too reactive to something that it may leave a mark, it may leave a stain. Um, think about kids. I've got kids, and I'm sure some of you out there do as well. And you say, hey, don't eat too fast, slow down. Well, what happens? All of a sudden, you got ketchup on your shirt, you waste spaghetti everywhere, you waste milk, something happened. And what is generally the response? See, if you were to take your time, then things would not have happened. You rushed something when it wasn't ready. Maybe it was too hot. Maybe the food was too hot. Now that I think about it, maybe that spaghetti was too hot. You do the high situation, and food's falling out your mouth. Well, it wasn't cooled down. It wasn't ready to eat yet. You got your plate in front of you. You were such in a rush and such in a hurry to get it down your throat, down your esophagus into your wonderful belly. And it just wasn't ready. It was too hot. A lot of situations are just too hot. Conversations can be too hot. Situations, life experiences, it's just too hot. It's too sensitive. It's too problematic. And people are not ready to have certain conversations. People are not ready to address certain things. Not that they won't, but you have to give people time. You can't fault anyone for making a move that you haven't made. You can't fault anyone for making a certain decision because you made that decision. You can't do that. Here at InEarthgie, we are a no judgment zone. What we do is help people expand their thinking, expand their knowledge base, and be considerate of others and looking at things from a different perspective in a different light. Again, whether it's food, whether it's a pimple, whether it's relationships, whether it's life experiences, everything has its appointed time, seed time and harvest. And again, certain things are just not ready yet. It's just not ready yet. Think about when you do laundry. You do laundry, you wash your clothes, you put them in the dryer, and you put it on the regular temperature and cycle that you generally do. But guess what happens when the timer goes off and you go in, you try to pull the clothes out the dryer? If they're not ready yet, you stick it back in the dryer and you give it what? More time. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, I'm sure some people have walked around with wet clothes. I have before too. And maybe that was the lack of my preparation in washing and drying my clothes in time. However, I digress. The point of the matter is, I had to give the clothes more time back into the dryer, just like baking a cake, just like preparing a meal. It's not ready, you take it out the oven or you test taste it, you put it back in there for more time. It's not ready yet. Some people, certain situations, certain experiences are not ready to be dealt with. Don't pressure it. Don't be too pushy. You're gonna leave a mark like the pimple on my face if I keep pressing on it. Give it time. Give it time. It's not ready yet. Think about yourself. Think about others. Sometimes it's just not ready. Give it time.